Hey guys, so today I want to talk about metabolism and dieting and why diets don't work. Okay, let's start off by saying when you diet, you're restricting calories usually, right? And so what happens is just simply that your body triggers like a metabolic adjustment and it will start to slow down. So in the beginning, yes, you'll be in a calorie deficit. And I know all my trainers and my, physical fitness experts out there will say that you must be in a calorie deficit. However, there is a huge flaw in that. Number one, well, there's two huge flaws. Number one flaw is that is way too hard to maintain. So that's why people gain the weight back. 2 to 5 years, 97% of the people who diet in calorie restriction, being very, very regimented in what they eat, will gain the weight back. Number two is that you are not taking into account the system. Your body is a system, like a hormonal system, a complex hormonal system of hormones, cortisol, leptin, ghrelin, insulin, all your sex hormones, your estrogen, all of that stuff need to work together in order to create a healthy metabolism. I'll even add a third thing. If you've got poor gut health, you're not creating an ideal environment for your metabolism to work optimally. So if you have gas and bloating, if you have acid reflux, if you know you have leaky gut, if you have an autoimmune condition, your immune system likely is not working in tip-top shape optimally, as they say. And all of those things create an environment for your metabolism not to work well. So many of you out there might be saying, I'm eating the same thing, or no matter what I do, I can't lose weight. You're in this weight loss plateau. It's because of that diet culture mentality where I've got to stop eating carbs and I've got to stop eating this, or else I'm not going to lose weight. I need to deprive myself. That deprivation mentality is also what brings us down, because most people don't want to live in a world where we're feeling deprived all the time. We can't have dessert. We can't have carbohydrates. That is not a way to live. So what I'm going to talk about is what you should pay attention to. And I hate to should on everybody, but the most important thing to pay attention to when it comes to your metabolism. And most of the time I talk to women with autoimmune conditions like lupus, psoriatic arthritis, RA, Sjogren's, Hashimoto's, but this is really applying to everybody. And most of the women that I've been talking to in the past year, if you have an autoimmune condition or not, are struggling also with weight loss. And when you have pounds on, 15 or more, that creates inflammatory cytokines and you also get joint pain. Okay, so let's dive into what you really do need to do in order to lose weight, reduce your inflammation, get out of pain, have more energy, all that good stuff. And I know that many of you are not going to like this, but I am a huge believer in eliminating things first. And I know that a little bit might contradict what I was saying before about dieting. However, in order to pay attention to those hormones and the gut health, and if you haven't taken my gut health assessment, by the way, I'm going to put the link below in this video. If you have gas and bloating, acid reflux, not pooping every day, take my gut health assessment, because that will really help you kind of assess where you are and what you need to focus on, especially if you have weight to lose and you have some things that you might suggest. Like if you have gas and bloating every time you're eating, your gut needs some help. So let's get back to what I want you to do. So I do want you to eliminate things. Now that doesn't mean you're going to restrict or deprive yourself. It means you're going to eliminate the huge gut busters and the things that are getting in the way of your metabolism. Those are going to be, sorry to tell you, but it's not going to be a surprise to you, is refined sugar. So don't mean fruit. I mean cookies, cakes, candy, all that kind of stuff, baked goods. Yes, packaged breads. You guys go and look on the shelf and look at the ingredients on basically any packaged bread. It's got a whole bunch of sugar in it, a whole bunch of junk that you don't recognize, that you wouldn't have in your pantry. So eliminate those things. Anything refined sugars, then anything in a package. Now, if you watch my other videos, I rail against highly processed foods. And I don't just mean highly processed foods. I mean anything in the middle of the market that's got, 5 or more ingredients. I'll let you have 5 ingredients. But if you don't recognize some of those 5 ingredients, like there's gums in there, you're not going to have it. Now, I know that's not easy, but if you try it for 30 days, just the elimination part, and you can eat all the white potatoes, all the sweet potatoes, all the, carbohydrates type of carrots that you've been starving yourself from. You can eat all of that if you feel like you need carbohydrates carbohydrates, which that is in another video that you don't. And if you want to know what to eat, it's really animal protein and a vegetable. Now, if you're having gas and bloating every time you eat, first of all, definitely take my gut health assessment. And that means that your gut is not happy and you may need to only go for cooked vegetables and obviously cooked, animal protein. Well, not obviously, I guess there's sushi. Yeah, so you want to go the animal protein and the cooked vegetables, because if you're having gas and bloating, no matter what you're eating, your body is not able to, you don't have the enzymes for that. And I'm not going to say just add in enzymes and probiotics, because you need to calm things down first. So this is a good time for me to say I am not a doctor, and it's a total disclaimer. This video is for conversational and educational purposes only. If your doctor is telling you, yes, eat a bunch of sugar and don't go off highly processed foods, go ahead and listen to your doctor. But if you're here to learn something and to have an open mind, go to your doctor. You can certainly ask him or her if that would be a good idea. I guarantee you what the answer will be, which is yes. So I'm a big fan of eliminating those things first. You will not really get anywhere with your health if your diet is filled with highly processed foods and refined sugar. That's where we're going to start. Okay, so my next tip is, a lot of people are, the big trendy diets, diets, but ways of eating, I should say, because they're not really diets, are like keto, carnivore, paleo. I'm a huge fan of all three of those, whichever you want to do. I coach all my clients on whatever works for your lifestyle. That's totally fine. However, you got to remember that those diets, not so much paleo, but the keto and the carnivore, come with a lot of fat. Yes, healthy fat, but there's a couple things to remember about your metabolism. Your metabolism, your body, your hormones want real whole food. So that's why actually those work better. And if you're wondering, why does keto work so well? Oh my God, how am I going to, just so if you're one of my Gen Xers, how am I going to eat that much fat? I've been trained, I've been brainwashed that we shouldn't be having all of this fat, right? It's healthy fat. It's feeding your hormones. It's telling your body, one of your hormones is leptin, telling your body, leptin, that you're full when you have the egg yolk. So go ahead and stop eating egg white omelets, please. Yes, I don't mind the dairy and all that stuff, depending on what you're on. Those diets include a lot of dairy. That's fine. If you're noticing that dairy is making you super bloated and you can't tolerate dairy, or if you're running to the toilet, obviously you're not going to have dairy. But those things are all things that we have been in our DNA for thousands of years to eat. The packaged foods, I can't drive the point home, hard enough, is that our bodies are not meant to metabolize any of that packaged food. So we can tolerate a little bit of it. If you want to have chips on the weekend, if you want to have a Diet Coke when you go out to restaurants, totally, probably fine. But the first 30, 60, 90 days, you really want to take all of that stuff out so that your body can heal, your gut can calm down, you can heal that leaky gut, and you can calm down the inflammatory cytokines that all the seed oils and the refined sugars are creating. So back to metabolism. So that explains why our metabolism works best when we're eating real whole food. So that's where I want you to start, taking out those packaged foods and replacing it with plenty of protein. You're going to be shocked when I tell you this: 30 grams of protein approximately per meal. Okay. I want to get back to the fat thing for a second. So the healthy fat is another point that I want to talk about. If you're trying to lose weight and you're in a weight loss plateau and you're watching this and you're on keto or you're on carnivore and you can't lose weight, sorry to tell you, and I know my keto lovers and my carnivore lovers are going to contradict me on this. You want to burn your own fat as fuel. So oftentimes I'll have people slow down on the nuts, slow down on the fatty fish, and go to tuna, go to branzino, go to the white fishes, go to chicken. You can eat the dark meat for sure. You might want to stay away from the skin because the dark meat has plenty of fat in it. Just do a quarter of an avocado. So go a little bit down on the fat, because the idea is you want to burn your own fat as fuel. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so last point I'll say is, if you're enjoying this video, please click the like button for me, because this information is great and I'd love to get it out to as many people as possible. And when you like it, when you subscribe, so you click the subscribe button, and when you share it with someone who might want to hear about, something about metabolism and how to really boost your metabolism, you can click the share button and share it with them. That way YouTube pushes out my videos. Thank you very much for doing that. And again, if you're still listening and you're wondering about your gut health, do go below this video and click the gut health assessment, and I will send you your results and you'll find out kind of where to focus on first with your gut health. Thanks, guys.